Hello, everybody, and welcome to Snap Take. Happy May. We've got a whole bunch of new cards to talk about today. We're going to cover every new card and have a deck for every new card coming this month. Warning, though, there are no Series 4 cards, as near as we can tell, coming this month because they released them a week early in order to celebrate the Snap Pack system. So there will be no Series 4 cards. It will be the 5 cards on your screen that we will be talking about today. So let's get started. But first, would you like to win a free Esme Cuckoo? This very video will have a free Esme Cuckoo. All you have to do is sub, like, and then later this video, I'll tell you what specific comment to leave. You leave that comment, and all of a sudden, you will be winning that Esme Cuckoo. So if you're interested in getting a free season pass, as soon as the season begins, make sure you sub, like, and then later this video, leave a comment. Esme Cuckoo, if you're wondering what she does, she's a 3/4. Copy a card from your deck to your hand, set its cost to 3, and power it to 4. That seems crazy strong to me. It's pseudo draw. It's not real draw. You can still draw the original of the card, but there's a million cards in Marvel Snap that are significantly better if they're 3/4s. Think Sarah. Think Galacta. There's a ton of stuff you would absolutely love to do with this card. It is, I'm almost certain, going to be absolutely incredible. And we learned something last season with the season pass of Captain Carter. If for some reason I'm wrong and she's not incredible, they're going to buff her until she is absolutely incredible, right? They're not going to let a season pass card be anything less than one of the better cards in the game. So expect Esme Cuckoo to be very, very strong. She is pseudo draw, like fake draw. Remember that she's not actually going to draw you a card. The card, however, that she does fake draw is going to be made cheaper by Quinjet. It's a created card. It'll be eaten by Strange Supreme as well. It will, however, also, it's a hand created card, so it will be buffed by Victoria Hand. It's 3 cost, so now all of a sudden we're looking at Surfer, and we have potential for stuff like a 3/4 Iron Man or a 3/4 Sarah. Hitting a 5 or a 6 here is fairly often very powerful, as long as you're not playing the 6 for the power. This seems like it's going to synergize with an absolute ton of decks, and so we're going to talk about 2. But first, our friend Lauren Whatevs of the Snap on This podcast. Check out Snap on This podcast on YouTube. She did all the math. We did a big Snap Packs best optimization video earlier this week, depending on when you're watching this, earlier this month. Twitter.com/LaurenWhatevs. She did all the math for that video for us. She is the best at math in Marvel Snap. Most of this is still true. I'm not 1,000% sure this is still exactly accurate with the new system, but it should be at least generally like within the same range of numbers. Here's the value of a season pass. The Series 5 card is worth 6,000 tokens, which you're going to save. Now, you could get it for 5,000, but you'd be either gambling or have to have absolutely everything else. The Series 5 card is worth a ton of resources. On top of that, you also get an extra 300 credits and 1,550 gold if we're counting weekend missions. As far as cosmetics, you get 3 exclusive variants. These variants never come back. 1 premium mystery variant, 2 regular variants, 3 avatars, 2 titles, 1 card back, and 1 border. That is 5,800 gold worth of cosmetics. We're already up to this season pass, giving you over, I believe, unless my math is real wrong, about 7,000 gold worth of stuff. With cosmetics, the season pass is worth $294.81. Without those, it's worth $122.31. It costs $9.99, at least American. That's 19.5 times value or 12.24 times value, whether you're looking at with or without. There's no value in the game that approaches just buying the damn season pass every single month. We didn't actually have to redo the math. This is what it is. So Lauren was like, I don't think we actually need to redo the math, Glazer. So I haven't heard back from her, so I'm assuming that's still the case once we actually got the snapbacks. At any rate, it's still at least close. You can probably get more from your gold now, so that extra 1,550 gold counts for more, because we used to be using it on things like Token Tuesdays, and now we have better regular token bundles, and we know Token Tuesdays are going to be improved. So everything about this says home run. Buy the damn season pass if you can remotely afford it. If you can't afford it, whatever, but the easiest way to play Marvel Snap and get all the cards, at least to me, is to buy the season pass, buy the gold pass, and optimize your spending. If you do that, complete all your missions, weekend missions, etc., make sure you're doing your Galactus spin daily, then you should be able to get every card in Marvel Snap. All right, Surfer Esme is our first Esme list. This one is built off the sort of like an update of the Zunes version. I think it's really, really solid. Basically, I built this deck around the idea that I want have as many good Esme hits as possible. Sam is the only really like bad one here. I would happily take a 3/4 Brood or Captain Carter. I don't especially want a second Shaw, but if I'm running Forge and I'm running Galacta, I don't see a big reason not to run Shaw, just as this extra bonus power. A 3/4 Surfer for a potential double Surfer seems good. Extra power on Juggernaut or Monger, I'm happy with. But what I'm really trying to hit is Sarah. Like, I'm happy to hit Brood or Carter, right? Like, I'm happy to hit Brood or Carter as a general rule. Um, but the other card I really want to hit is Sarah. Also, like, you don't always draw Galacta, and it's taking a card from your deck, not your hand. So if you weren't going to draw Galacta and all of a sudden you got a free Galacta, or a 3/4 Galacta, yeah, you'll play that 3/4 Galacta like crazy. So I think that this card is going to be absolutely incredible in Surfer. This feels like the most obvious home and the most obvious deck, and I would bet you this is at least a tier 1 deck. Next up, we've got Esme Victoria Hand. This is a Victoria hand list that is built off of one of MSL Chamo's old lists. Basically, Esme Cuckoo gives you an extra chance for an extra Victoria hand. And again, we have some hits that I'm not as in love with here, right? But there's no requirement that you have to play them. But I would honestly take a 3/4 Hood. Again, Captain America's meh. Hawkeye, you don't really want. Iron Patriot, fine, I guess. Sometimes you're going to have the energy. But what we're, again, really looking for here is we want Victoria hand. We're happy to see that Hood. We're happy to see that Frigga, because now we have a Frigga all of a sudden. A 3/4 Shang-Chi seems amazing, and then Kahori and Misery seem great. Basically, an extra chance to draw in decks that have one important card, right? Like, we really want a Surfer or a Galacta in a Surfer list so we have enough power to compete. We really want a Victoria hand here so we have enough power to compete, and we really would like to, like, double that Victoria hand if possible, or be able to Kahori, or, like, Shang to win, or Juggernaut to win. Esme giving you an extra shot at these cards that like are so important for the list is, I think, 1,000% worth running. She doesn't make your deck thinner in reality because you can still draw the card, right? But hey, having an extra way to draw that card is going to increase consistency in decks a huge amount. I assume that she is going to be absolutely incredible for that simple reason. Before we go forward, I'm going to remind you to please hit that sub, like, and comment. We do 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos. The day this video is releasing, it is the second video of the day. We have done 11 videos this week. We cover Marvel Snap more thoroughly and consistently than anyone. We don't always do 11 videos a week. We usually do like 7 or 8 or sometimes 9. But this is a huge week in Marvel Snap as this releases with snap packs, with the new patch. We covered all the Fantastic Four stuff, and we've still had at least 3 brand new decks every single day. Make sure you hit that sub, like, and comment as we try to hit 25,000 subs in 2025. Surge is our next card. Excuse me, I think I'm down with something. Surge is, on reveal, give the top card of your deck -1 cost and +1 power. After you play it, the top card, repeat this ability. So this one seems very good. Not like broken, but very good. If you hit the right cards, this can cycle and become like, end up being like 4, like if you hit it on 3, 4, 5, right? Because it doesn't matter if you hit it on 6. This is going to work out to be +3 energy and +3 power. That seems like it's pretty good. Now it's playing it's basically got 5 power itself. That's not huge, right? It's a 2/5, but 2/5 that gives +3 energy, you would play that every time. Of course, it's not always going to do that. Sometimes you're going to miss. So we really want to figure out what we want to hit with it and what kinds of cards we want to hit with it. So this is, however, the kind of card the community overrates, including me. I thought Fastos was going to be incredible. This feels like better Fastos. But this seems great in decks that don't really care about play order, like Galacta stuff, Thena stuff, Surfer, Victoria Hand, Sarah, anything where you just have a bunch of cheap stuff you can play and a bunch of extra options. This seems like it's pretty good. If this chain's going off, it's going to be completely nutty, but sometimes it's just going to be a bad 2/2. I am cautiously optimistic. The place I would really like to play this is a Sarah deck, because a Sarah deck getting anything cheaper, even at the end of the game, after a Sarah, after a Zabu, is incredible. This works as a Zabu if I draw Galacta or Gwenpool on it, which seems like very, very important to do. If I hit like a Captain Carter, and even if I don't play it, I'm probably going to play it on 3, right? Just to get the benefit. But if I hit a Captain Carter and I don't want to play it, I'm happy to have a 3/3 Carter. But B, even if I don't get the benefit, if I play Sarah later, that's now a 1 cost Captain Carter, which seems really good. Like, overall, all around, I think that this is going to be very, very, very good on curve in a Sarah deck. If I get, for example, I get Sarah down to 4. Now I play Who Cares on 3, right? I play a Juggernaut. I play a Sam Wilson on 3. I can now play Sarah on 4, and now the next card I get is going to be discounted by 2. That's the kind of thing I'm looking to do here. Sarah is one of the most underrated decks in Marvel Snap right now. It's got a really good matchup into almost everything. If you can effectively throw Prio, it's a really good matchup into all the move stuff that's everywhere. It's a really good matchup into the Thanos stuff, largely thanks to the Killmonger, the Shang, the Enchantress. There's a lot to speak for this deck at this exact moment. I think Surge could be the card that pushes it over the top in just a couple more days. Next up, we've got Prodigy. Prodigy, I have no idea what to make of. If this is in the back row, copy the text of the card in front of it. This could be completely broken, or it could be too clunky to use properly. When it feels good, it's going to feel great. When it feels bad, it's going to literally do nothing. So front row, back row is finicky, especially for a 3-drop. So we've learned that from Captain Carter, as she is very, very good as a 3-drop, but she can be complicated to use. It is, however, unlike the other ones we have, an on reveal, which means it just needs to be behind the thing for one turn and then you're done, which means Sam's shield and such will work for it. You can use, as I try to breathe, you can use your move cards to make sure this is in the back, and then if it goes to the front, who cares? Surfer and Galacta once more seem to really, really like this. This is yet another 3, so Surfer's pretty happy to have access to this opportunity. Well, Galacta is if you can get a card, if you can manage to get it behind Galacta, which is not easy, you're going to need once more Sam Wilson for that most of the time. But if you can get it behind a Galacta, we're starting to cook. Ongoing has some interest, especially because of Moonstone. This works very well with Moonstone. This is a 3/4, and outside of that, I'm fairly less sure. The place I'm going to start with it is Moonstone because Moonstone and Captain Carter have proved to be such a powerful combination. I can play it behind like multiple cards in this deck and be very happy. I'm happy for a 3/4 Goliath. I'm happy for a 3/4 Ravonna. I don't really want the Sam. I can take the extra Mystique, the extra Captain Carter. Cosmo is useless. An extra Moonstone seems utterly insane. I can turn him into a second Iron Man even at the end of the game. All that stuff is real strong and worth doing. So things I could do on the last turn of the game, right? Let's say I go I have Moonstone in one lane and then Iron Man in another. I can play um, Mystique to copy the Iron Man, right, in the Moonstone lane, getting double Iron Man. Then I can play Prodigy behind the Iron Man to get that extra power. And if I can pull that kind of thing off, then this is going to be completely incredible in this list. This feels like it's very good, and it also lowers the curve a little bit from the Iron Lad, which is often in that spot, which I really do like. Again, there's a lot of cards I'm very happy to hit here with this card, and thus I think it is going to end up being valid in this deck. Is this going to be a must-have? No, I think the first 2 cards are closer to must-have, and Prodigy is one I'm going to have a little more of a wait and see with. Hey, come check me out on twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I'm live all the time. I'm live basically 7 days a week. I either go live on weekdays at 3:15 p.m. or at about 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're free at either of those times, come check it out. Weekends, I tend to pick one day and just stream basically all day, and we do a bunch of giveaways over the weekend. So if you're interested, stop by twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Next up, we've got Elixir. I don't know if I have that slide. I'll do it at the end if not. Elixir is a 2/3 on reveal. One of your cards destroyed last turn gets revived here. I think this card is terrible, like actively bad, like offensively bad. Shang is usually a last turn play, which means the last turn isn't going to happen, which means you're trying to use this offensively, not defensively. And it's one of your cards, not the most powerful of your cards or anything. So something like Killmonger could end up bringing back an Iceman instead of a demon. So Kid Omega, who's a 2/3 that has an activate, destroy the next card you play, add its power to this. Kid Omega would make this a really, really powerful card. But Kid Omega, who we thought would be coming this season, does not appear to be. If Kid Omega suddenly comes out, we can revise Elixir at that time. But for the time being, I don't think this card is much at all. If you Venom or Misery a big card, like Gwenpool or Kahori with Fire Hair out, this can be good. So maybe this makes Fire Hair better, where like you play Gwenpool on 4 or 3, thanks to the new card. You play Gwenpool and then you Venom it, and like now you've got double Gwenpool, and then you can play this card on turn 5. Hopefully it's been hit by a few buffs, and then you get an extra benefit out of it. That seems fine. That seems like it's a doable thing. Gwenpool and Kahori seem like the best targets for that because they're on reveals. I'm not sure what else I really want to do that with as part of the problem, but it is decent. So I think Jet, our friend Jet, who builds a ton of Phoenix Force decks, might be able to cook something up with this. But outside of Jet, I'm not sure anyone wants it. This is kind of where I'm looking as far as Elixir goes. Yeah. So the fire hair thing I'm talking about. What am I gonna eat here that I really want to bring back is sort of the big question. Like, I don't get what I want to do here. I can get back a hood to then destroy again, I guess. I don't know. I can eat Valentina now better and get an extra Valentina or Iron Patriot. I just don't think this card is anything. It's a really cool design, but I don't think it's anything until we get another card, at least. However, Elixir is worlds better than Zorn. Zorn is a 2/3. After any 4 cost card is played here, move it to another location. I mean, okay, sure, that's going to be really good sometimes and really useless most of the time. If we ever have like a pure Surfer meta, this will be good. Um, Vulture, Hercules, Hydra Stomper, Craven seems hilarious. We can add in Silk and Sam Wilson. We just saw stuff with this. We can live some chaos. Here's what I decided to try with Fanfei, with Topaz. Um, I don't know. This deck is terrible, right? Like, there's just better versions of this that aren't complete nonsense. I'd rather play a non-terrible version of this deck that's not complete nonsense, friends. I don't understand what the hell I'm doing with Zorn. But like, hey, we should be able to get a reasonably big Craven, a reasonably big Hydra Stomper. And that's not nothing. I just don't think that that's game or lane winning. I don't know. I don't know how to use this. Straight up, I don't know how to use this. I think that this card is going to be the next Bruce Banner, where it's just like, why? Again, Zorn is a very cool character. This is a really cool design. I don't want to spoil 20-year-old, 24-year-old comics now, but Zorn being sort of reverse Magneto, where Magneto pulls the cards to him and Zorn pulls the cards away from him, is very, very cool. It's really great design, but I think this card is utterly unplayable. All right, let's tier all the cards for this month, and shouts to our old friend Docty, who's long since quit Marvel Snap, but shouts to Docty. The only must-have card of the month is the Season Pass card, Esme Cuckoo, and it's not because she's the Season Pass, it's because I can't imagine her being less than great. Again, any deck that really does want to hit specific cards will play her. I didn't even say it in her section, but it occurs to me that Wiccan decks would be very happy for her to give you an extra chance to draw Wiccan. Like, you play her on 3, and if you didn't draw Wiccan, all of a sudden you have a 3/4 Wiccan. I would play a 3/4 Wiccan. You would too. Esme has a million uses along those lines. I think she cannot miss. Could be wrong. We've been wrong about things that we think are great before. I've got a very high degree of confidence in both the consistency and power of Esme Cuckoo. I don't think there's any A's that are just like wow cards. Although I could easily see Surge getting there, I don't expect Surge to get there. Prodigy, however, I think is a fair B for decks you like. If you want a specific deck that Prodigy goes in, I think you're going to grab him, and I do think that's going to end up being ongoing. It could be something else, but my working assumption is that deck ends up being ongoing. Surge, however, seems like because it could go in Thanos, because it could go in Sarah, because it could go in Surfer, if it ends up good in these homes, can go up to A, maybe even S, but more likely it will peak out at A. While Prodigy, I'm very, very confident in its B rank. Elixir is a C if it suits you. You can get Elixir if you want. And F, not without buffs, Zorn. Zorn seems like absolute garbage. Elixir at least has the promise of the eventual Quinton Quire coming out to give him use, and eventually they have to do something with Destroy, right? They have to give Destroy a buff, make it Destroy season, do something for that. At which point, Elixir seems like it could be a decent card, but for now, it's nothing. We would usually rank full spotlights now, but there are no spotlights anymore to rank. So what you're just doing is deciding to buy the cards. But for the love of God, unless you are complete, there is almost no reason to buy a new card outside of the season pass on day one. You can wait the week. We will review the card multiple times throughout the week as we continually review these cards over and over again. You will, by the end of the week, have a very good idea of whether to buy the card for weekend missions, which carry 200 tokens, which is a fair amount of tokens and can really help you over time. But you don't have to buy it until then. Wait and see, get the extra idea. This is meant as a guide, a way to help you know what to do for the month of May. And may it be with you. Certain tier support on our Patreon, patreon.com/snapjudgments, come with on-air thanks. If you would like to be a Patreon, please check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. We're going to first start with Bricks to Click. Thank you, Bricks to Click. Abigail Gieslin. Uh, Bricks to Click is our patron of the month. Abigail Gieslin, Mentor Burnout, It Regardless, LAB, Always Kind, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota Neverete, Thinking Poker, Prime Brian, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Ren Wrench, Gartix Lee, Koira, and Kazushi. Ren Wrench got moved because Ryan Wood and Ren Wrench were the same sounds. Koira, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Pyro Froze, The Goat Seeker, Goatsy, Code, what's up, Code? Hallowed, Only Fox, Synth, Rat Eric, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty, Casual, Filthy Even, Mr. Kerfuffle, who beat me yesterday in a one cube retreat, but still. Gables! Hey, Gabe. Hopefully you're traveling well. Ginger Prime, sup, Ginger. Philly, it's Philip Brakovich. Haplo, it's Haplo Ning. Canalogs with the James Zone, the Bizza. Notoriously here with Black Jeep is 23. Thanks for seeing Skippy G, rhyming friends. Jessica Gamble, sup, Jess. Mr. Slush at the King of Bros. Bro, the Great Gazoo. Werewolf, Kivsy Hoda. Luna, Ludacris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, M. Hollins. David G. Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Craig Sterry, Matt V. And new Real Name Town attendee, Corey. Thank you for subscribing to the Patreon, Corey. Appreciate you. Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy Q, Q down. You stout, 8th Sage, one big man. Milkman for reals. Cactus Jack, Reapser, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snapchat Scissors Joe, Dick Carlo, Models Mod Supreme, Bickety Boom Bot, Green Goblin, Unibot, Flan 56, The Spectrum Mix, Hood, Ocularis, Matt H, DJ, Mikey Hedges, Don't Frickin' Flex, Nick the Greek Geek, Nicky, Toxic Soul King, Toxie. He'll be on the podcast tonight, or, in the past, depending on when you watch this. Zodrex, the King of Canada! Denman Falcon, Thor Newman, Jonesy, Two Ties. Who does, in fact, wear two ties? The great Lauren Whatevs, thanks again for the math. Check out Lauren on the Snap on This podcast. The Pirate King Tucker, who should be on the podcast next week, depending when you watch this, with Den. And then, of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for That's It. But that's all, folks, and I will see you on either stream or tomorrow's video. We've got so much more Marvel Snap content coming for you. Peace.